Debbie Hartner.
I'm Elsie Johnson.
We are two sisters, Southern Cooking.
I grew up in a small town. Well, we both did. Grew up in a small town that did not even have a red light. We grew up in the country. We grew up farming with growing our own vegetables and whatnot. So we were used to this kind of cooking all our life. Children, we had, I found some pictures the other day. I was looking through some old photos and I found pictures of us at an old lake that was in behind our property where we lived. And we would go fishing there as children, and we would all pack picnic baskets up for Labor Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, I mean, and just to do.
We would actually go there and get our Christmas trees too. We'd cut our Christmas trees down there.
In
Florida.
Out in the wild.
Who would have thought you could cut down a Christmas tree in Florida, right?
Right. But, I mean, we grew up in a really large family that food and fellowship was everything.
Right.
So that's actually kind of what led us to do what we're doing now, is to bring back family together. Almost immediately after I quit working, I realized that I enjoyed cooking. I enjoyed baking. I enjoyed experimenting and learning new dishes. And even though I have a meat and potatoes husband, I like to experiment. I like to try new things. So I would try new dishes. I would bake new things. I would take a recipe and I'd modify it, and I'd do this or do that just to try something new because I love to do it. Back when I was working 70 plus hours a week in a salaried position, and anybody who works in salary knows they get their money's worth out of you. So I didn't want to cook when I got home. I cooked, but it wasn't anything extravagant. It was just food, just to get nourishment in you. So there was not truly any enjoyment in it.
Right.
So when I retired, I soon learned that I love to cook. And
you live so far out in the country too that you had to learn how to create your own recipes and everything.
Right. There's really no restaurants around here, not within 25 miles. So you have to learn to be experimental, to get different dishes, because you're going to eat home every single day of the week and go out maybe once or twice a month to even get anything. So you had to learn how to find new ways to make the same foods different.
I'm Debbie Hartner, and I'm a 30-year plus nurse in the emergency room. I have been there, I think it's 20 years now, going on 21. And my love for cooking started after we left Florida. When I was working in Florida, I was doing maybe 5, 6, 7, 12-hour shifts a week to make ends meet. And we had little kids. When the kids got grown and they were out of the house, Ben retired, and we moved north. Nobody ever does that. Why? I don't know. Everybody retires and moves to Florida. We moved out of state. So I started to learn how to cook and love to cook when my husband retired, because I cut my shifts back to 3 days a week, and I wouldn't work any more than that. And that was part of the agreement. If he retired, I'd work 3 shifts a week. I was getting older. I didn't think I needed to work that much. So therefore, that's how it happened. In April of 2020, we moved to Middle Georgia. We moved to Warner Robins, and Mom got sick, and we moved down to help out with her care. When we moved down here, my sister still lives about an hour away from us, and we would drive over once a week. And during that one day that we would come over, we ended up cooking together, because
there's no restaurants,
right? And you had to, you come, you stay, and then you go home. And so during that time, we'd cook a meal together. And one night, Ben came up to us. It was like a month into it, and he was like, "You girls need to make a YouTube page and a Facebook page, because this food is too good not to share with other people." And within 24 hours after making the page, we had over 1,000 followers. and it's grown since then. We are doing our show strictly to try to reunite family, because what we had when we were kids, we sat down at the table at least once a week with the entire family, and that included probably extended family, aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, and we would share a meal together. Every night when we were at home when we were kids, there was always dinner on the table, and we all sat down as a family and ate together. So that's how we grew up. We grew up learning how to cook from our Grandma Grace and our Aunt Flora and our Mom Jean. And they were amazing cooks. And Grandma Grace taught both of them how to cook. She was an amazing baker, amazing cook. She was amazing in anything that she did. So our show is about getting the family back together, unifying the family so you can all sit down at a meal. So every week we pick a day, and we start in the morning and we cook until like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. And that includes a full course meal. We cook an entree, some sides, maybe several entrees depending on the pickiness of our eaters that week. And then we make a dessert or two. We put it out and have the family come over, and everybody sits down and they sit at the table and they talk. We talk about the day, we talk about the food we cooked, we talk about life, we talk about current events, we talk about what we used to talk about when we were kids. Mm-hmm. You know, we would sit down with our mom when we were kids, and Daddy would come to the table, and there was always a debate at the table. Always a debate between my mom and my dad. It was always about religion or politics, right? And it would go into the dessert and the cleanup. We were always debating something. So we learned very early that family was the most important thing no matter what. And in days like today, where everything is chaotic, there's so much sickness, there's so much chaos, and so much unrest, we find that gathering back at this table and being a family is where our show was originated, and that's the reason why we do it. And we encourage other people to reunite their family around food, and that's why we're here.
I'm Elsie. And I'm Debbie. With Two Sisters Southern Cooking.
We thank you for visiting our page.